What if I told you that one of Nazi Germany's most wanted enemies was a Muslim princess who wrote children's stories? Paris, 1943. The Gestapo has a bounty on her head. They call her the most dangerous woman in France. But they don't even know her real name. Her code name is Madeleine. And she's about to change the course of World War II. This story begins not in a palace, but in a small house in Paris. The year is 1914. A baby girl is born to parents who seem like characters from a fairy tale. Her father, Noor Inayat Khan, is an Indian prince and famous musician. Her mother, Aura, is an American woman who gave up everything for love. They named their daughter Noor. In Arabic, it means light. But this princess will never wear a crown. Instead, she'll carry something far more dangerous, a radio. Noor grows up in the suburbs of Paris, speaking French, English, and Urdu. She loves music like her father. She writes stories for children. She plays the harp. She studies child psychology. To her neighbors, she's just another pretty girl with long dark hair and kind eyes. They have no idea she's royalty. Then, in 1927, when Noor is just 13, her father dies suddenly. The family is left with almost nothing. Her fairy tale childhood is over. But Noor doesn't give up. She becomes the family's protector. She writes children's books to pay the bills. She tells stories on French radio. She dreams of a peaceful world where children of all backgrounds can play together. She believes in non-violence. Her father taught her that hatred only creates more hatred. Love, he said, is the only answer. Then, on June 14, 1940, Nazi tanks roll into Paris. Everything changes. Picture this: you are a 26-year-old woman. You believe in peace. You've never hurt anyone in your life. Your religion teaches you to turn the other cheek. Then you watch foreign soldiers march down your street. You see your Jewish neighbors disappear in the night. You hear stories of concentration camps. What do? Most people run. Noor's family flees to London like thousands of other refugees. They're safe now. They can wait out the war. But safety isn't enough for Noor. In London, she sees something that changes everything. Royal Air Force pilots, barely older than boys, flying missions over Nazi territory. Many never come back. These young men are dying to free her adopted country. How can she, a princess, do any less? Against her mother's tears and her family's fears, Noor makes a choice that will shock everyone who knows her. This gentle woman who writes fairy tales, joins the British military. But the regular military isn't enough for her. When British intelligence comes looking for people who speak perfect French, Noor volunteers for something far more dangerous. The Special Operations Executive. So, their mission: slip behind enemy lines and organize resistance movements. Their life expectancy in Nazi-occupied France? 6 weeks. The training is brutal. She learns to kill with her bare hands. She memorizes radio codes. She practices lying so well that even experts believe her false stories. Remember, this is a woman who was raised to always tell the truth. But here's what makes Noor different from other spies. Most SOE agents are men. Most are white. Most are Christian. Noor is a brown-skinned Muslim woman with an Indian name. In Nazi-occupied France, she will stand out like a lighthouse. Her instructors have serious doubts. One report says she's not overburdened with brains. Another calls her unstable and temperamental. They almost reject her. But then something happens that changes their minds. During a training exercise, Noor's group is captured by pretend Gestapo agents. For 24 hours, they're interrogated, threatened, kept awake. One by one, the other trainees break. They give up fake secrets. They beg to stop the exercise. Not Noor. For 24 straight hours, she gives them nothing. Not her name. Not her mission. Not even when they're screaming in her face. The gentle princess who writes children's stories has nerves of steel. On June 16, 1943. A small plane flies through the darkness toward Nazi-occupied France. Inside sits a young woman with forged papers that say her name is Jean-Marie Renier. But her real name is Noor Inayat Khan. And she's about to become the most wanted woman in France. She lands in a field outside Paris carrying a suitcase that weighs 30 pounds. Inside is a radio powerful enough to reach London, and dangerous enough to get her killed if she's caught. Her mission sounds simple: be the radio link between London and the French resistance. Send information about Nazi troop movements. Coordinate weapons drops. Help plan attacks. But within weeks, everything goes wrong. The Gestapo has been hunting SOE agents across France. One by one, Noor's fellow spies are captured. Tortured. Executed. By October 1943, she's the only SOE radio operator left in Paris. The only one. London sends her urgent messages: come home. It's too dangerous. You've done enough. Noor's response is just 4 words: I am staying on. Think about this moment. She knows she's alone. She knows the Gestapo is closing in. She knows that staying means almost certain death. But French resistance fighters are depending on her. Without her radio, they're cut off from weapons, supplies, and hope. So this Muslim princess, this woman of peace, makes the most dangerous choice of her life. She stays. For 4 months, she runs. Every night, she sets up her radio in a different location. Attics. Basements. Abandoned buildings. She sends coded messages to London while Nazi radio detectors circle Paris like sharks. She changes her appearance constantly. Different clothes. Different hair. Different stories about who she is and where she's going. But the Gestapo is getting closer. They've captured other SOE agents. Tortured them for information about the mysterious Madeleine, Noor's code name. They know she's out there. They know she's dangerous. They just don't know where. Then, on October 13, 1943, someone betrays her. 6:30 a.m. Apartment building in the 16th district of Paris. Noor is preparing for another day of hiding, another night of radio transmissions. The Gestapo breaks down the door. But here's what the Nazi intelligence officers don't expect: this small, quiet woman fights like a tiger. She tries to destroy her radio. She throws her codebooks out the window. When they grab her, she scratches and kicks and bites. It takes 4 grown men to get handcuffs on her. The Gestapo thinks they've captured just another spy. They have no idea they've just arrested a princess. They take her to their headquarters on Avenue Foch, a place where screams echo through the halls day and night. For weeks, they interrogate her. They want names. Locations. Radio codes. The identity of every resistance fighter she's worked with. She tells them nothing. They threaten her. Still nothing. They starve her. Nothing. They move her to Pforzheim prison in Germany, a place designed to break the spirits of the strongest men. Still, nothing. The Gestapo files describe her as highly dangerous and uncooperative. This from an organization that tortured information out of hardened soldiers and experienced spies. But they can't break a children's book writer from Paris. For 10 months, Noor sits in solitary confinement. 10 months of darkness. 10 months of interrogation. 10 months of psychological torture designed to destroy her mind. She never breaks. She never gives up a single name. Then on September 13, 1944. Dachau concentration camp. One of the most evil places humans have ever created. At dawn, 4 women are led from their cells. 3 RSOE agents like Noor. The fourth is a Russian spy. They've been brought here for one reason. As they're forced to kneel, Noor's last words are recorded by witnesses. Liberté. Freedom. The woman who wrote fairy tales about kindness and peace, dies defying the greatest evil of her time. She's 30 years old. For years after the war, Noor's story remains buried in classified files. Her family doesn't even know how she died. But slowly, the truth comes out. The intelligence she sent to London helped coordinate D-Day, the invasion that turned the tide of World War II. The resistance fighters she protected went on to liberate entire regions of France. The secrets she refused to give up saved hundreds of lives. Today, there's a statue of her in London. A school in France bears her name. Her story is taught to children across Europe. But here's what makes Noor's story even more remarkable. She did all this as a Muslim woman in an age when both words, Muslim and woman, were considered barriers to heroism. She proved that courage has no religion. That heroism has no gender. That sometimes the gentlest people fight the hardest battles. The Nazis called her the most dangerous woman in France. They were right, but not for the reasons they thought. She wasn't dangerous because she carried weapons or planted bombs. She was dangerous because she proved something Hitler's entire philosophy couldn't survive. That a Muslim princess who wrote children's stories could stare down the Nazi war machine, and never blink. That a woman raised on peace and love could show more courage than armies of men. That sometimes the people history forgets, are the ones who changed it most. So the next time someone tells you that gentle people can't be strong, or that women can't be warriors, or that Muslims don't belong in the story of Western freedom, tell them about Noor Inayat Khan. The princess who defied Hitler. The fairy tale writer who saved France. The light that shined in humanity's darkest hour. Noor Inayat Khan was posthumously awarded the George Cross, Britain's highest civilian honor for gallantry. She remains the only woman of Indian origin to receive this decoration. Her codename was Madeleine. Her real name means light. She was 30 years old. What other heroes are hidden in history's shadows? What other names have we forgotten? And what would happen if we remembered them? The story continues, if we choose to look.